Hi, brave souls. Welcome to the Brave Evolution podcast. I'm your host, Chantel Hampton, and this is your boost of empowerment. The Brave Evolution is all about you being brave enough to dig deep and face the fears, face the ugly, and face the horrible cards you were dealt, and allowing those beautiful jewels deep inside of you to take root and to grow. Welcome, 2022. Can you believe it? And welcome season 2 of the Brave Evolution podcast. I'm so excited to share this message of encouragement, hope, and courage with you today. And I'm also thrilled to share a couple of things I have coming up. So starting next month, February 8th, I'm hosting a 6-week online course called Brave Voice. It's a course designed to specifically target singers, songwriters, and even aspiring podcasters to learn how to hone in on their message, songwriting skills, as well as writing skills, and learn what gear to use and how to set up their home studios and recording stations, learn how to record, produce your vocals, and edit your sessions. And you'll have 6 live group sessions that are hour long each, and then you'll meet with me 6 times in a private lesson for an hour each. So I am super excited about this. For those that don't know what I do on a regular basis, I've been a professor now for about 10 years. I taught as a professor at Berklee College of Music and for about 8 years, and I'm currently working at Full Sail University in the music business department as a course director or professor as well. And teaching and education is a passion of mine, but I also have some very knowledgeable and valuable skills as it pertains to getting your music polished, finished, recorded out there. And I really love it. I've been editing and engineering since I was probably around 14, 15. It's when I stole my dad's computer and his gear and started working at it. But I've been doing it for that long. And so a lot of the jobs and the work I've been able to do in the industry has come from me having these skills. And I find that a lot of people are scared to step out and try it because the technology, I don't know what that cable is. I don't know what that is. But if I walk through it with you and help you through it, I guarantee you it will be easy. All right, it will be easy. So I want you and whoever you're interested or think that should do this, I want you to sign up. I have an early bird special now. It started on Saturday, but it's going from Saturday till Wednesday of this week. January 12th. I was like, what month are we in? January 12th at midnight. So the early bird special is a deal that you can get, and then it goes back up to regular price after that time. Okay, so please sign up, register now. You can go to my website, chantelhampton.com/brave voice. chantelhampton.com/brave voice. Okay. So, and then just this lovely new season of this podcast. I'm so happy and I'm so honored to be able to share with you. And I've had such great feedback, and I know I'm still growing and I'm still nervous, but this has been rewarding for me because I've just been, dealing with chronic illness and trying to get over that, but also trying to remain productive and to be who I know I've been purposed to be when battling and contending with something physically is very challenging. And so the Brave Evolution in itself was designed and created for those that are dealing with chronic illnesses to overcome the fear and the frustration and the insecurity and the self-doubt, and then also to target and assist entrepreneurs like myself who have dealt with chronic pain, but also chronic fear, and just afraid to step out, afraid to do this, afraid to take risks. It's so important to take risk. I heard somebody say a few days ago, faith is literally the word risk. And it takes us taking those risks and investing in ourselves, or doing the thing you never thought you could do, in order for you to actually walk in who you were purposed to be. And so, I mean, the Brave Evolution, it started off with me thinking, I am not my jobs, but I am who I've been purposed to be, and getting in tune with who God created me to be. And so that's where the B and the E, you get that, the Brave Evolution. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, that's where it came from. So those people that are dealing with chronic illness, things that are annoying, and things that can be painful and tiresome and just struggling, like, I want to help you as I'm helping myself, and I have teams of doctors and community working with me to help me overcome what I'm dealing with. And it takes bravery to go to all these doctors. It takes bravery to take all these tests. It takes bravery to change your diet, your eating habits, your exercise habits, your sleeping patterns. And I also want to help those entrepreneurs, or those aspiring entrepreneurs, those people that are tired of their day job and they sit there and complain, and they have an idea but they're too afraid to step out on it. You're never going to have enough. It's never going to be the right moment. You just have to step out and do it. And so today I want to talk to you about part of the first steps in stepping out to do that. This season of this podcast, I'm going to have some really cool guests on, as I did last season, and I'm so grateful for the people that came on and spoke with you all. But I'm going to be doing kind of like a passing back and forth between the interviews with other people, and then just some talks where it's just you and me. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about honing into your voice, not just your audible voice, the one generated by the vocal folds found in your larynx, but your inner voice, that voice that resonates loudly and serves as the life or death source of your being. Okay, that's very important. For so many years, I was super shy, and I was insecure when it came down to communicating my wants, my needs, what was truth to me, what I felt, and even saying my name sometimes. I was shy and bashful. I would hide behind a lot of people. And my dad was notorious for teasing me. He teased me all the time, and then I got older and started teasing him back. But he used to tease me because when somebody would ask me my name, I would say Chantel. And he'd be like, speak up. I'm like, Chantel. And he used to tease me about that all the time. But now I can say my name boldly, Chantel. And so, being shy to communicate, not understanding, but it was all because of the fears and the things that I was speaking to myself. And the way the world, it was almost like I didn't move like everybody else moved. So I was odd and I was different, and I did not fit in. When I started singing, I was horrible, like really bad, like squeaky bad. I did not have the best sounding voice at all at the beginning, and it took a lot of work and effort. But what I did have was sincerity. I had passion, I had heart, and I had a genuine love for the music and for what I was singing. And that's what attracted producers and labels and managers and different people to me. And honestly, I feel like over the time, as I grew in confidence, I got better, and I started to like my voice more, and it has allowed me to kind of come into my own. But I'm not just talking about the audible voice, like I said before. It's so important to tune in, and we must tune into the core of who we are, so that what we speak is that solid, singular voice, that solid, honed in, tuned in voice consistently. It's so super important. In this podcast episode that I posted a few months ago, it was called Do You Courageously, Let Your Light Shine. So if you haven't heard that, go check it out. But I speak about the importance of understanding that we all operate from and on a certain frequency. The frequency we operate from is the frequency of our heart, the core of who we are. And each of us has and carries a vibe. You know when you got a person around you that giving off bad vibes or bad energy or something don't feel right. that's what they're resonating as, and on, and whatever frequency and whatever they dwell on internally is what's coming out. It's a vibe, meaning we vibrate or resonate on a specific frequency that is often felt before it's ever seen. In the Bible, the Holy Scriptures, Luke 6:45 says, and this is the Amplified Version, the intrinsically good man produces what is good and honorable and moral out of the good treasure stored in his heart. And the intrinsically evil man produces what is wicked and depraved out of the evil in his heart. For his mouth speaks from the overflow of his heart. The way we vibrate and our voice, both audible and inaudible, resonate from that deep place, that heart, the core, and the very essence of who we are and what we ruminate on. David Hawkins, the author of Power versus Force, says that Jesus resonated at the highest level of truth and enlightenment. It was somewhere between 700 and 1,000 hertz, which is crazy. And it says that his life view is like, I am, like he just is. He's not trying to be. He's not trying to do something to prove anything. He just is. So his method and his messages resonated there from that place of being. So cool. The vibration or frequency of peace is at 600, and the emotion is bliss. And I'm going to put that picture of the frequency chart up here so you can see. Joy is 540, serenity. Love is at 500 hertz, and it's like a feeling of reverence. The neutral place is 250, trust. That's like, okay, I'm surrendering and I'm trusting. So that's like the neutral place, the middle place. Courage is affirmation. It comes right behind that. Pride and really usually means that you're operating from a life view of being demanding. You're demanding attention. You're demanding respect. Fear, you move and operate out of anxiety, and it's frightening. Like you're frightened about everything. You're afraid about everything. And it's powerful. So like, look at this chart, and I encourage you to read Power versus Force. But a lot of times we're resonating from places we don't recognize we are. And that can either make or break us. It is literally, life or death is literally in the power of what we speak, what we think, and what we feel. And often what we feel is what we think and what we speak. So it's important to alter what we ponder and what we where our emotional center is. It's super important to ponder that. It's time to come up higher, and it's time to heal our voices and our vibes. Each of us was born to be powerful instruments in the orchestra of life. We can either be a conduit of noise, which is low-level frequencies, or a whole bunch of them at the same time, or of beauty, and that's love, joy, enlightenment. If you ever heard a sound bowl and the frequency that's played, it's one consistent note, and then it moves to the next. Or even a shofar, one consistent note, or it moves slowly to the next. It's not a whole bunch of continuous notes. That produces noise and uneasiness a lot of times. So I have a few practical ways that we can do that. And if you feel like, you know what, my voice is not clear. When I'm thinking, my inner voice is not clear, and then when I'm speaking, I'm not clear, I'm not confident, or I come from a place of cynicism or negativity a lot, then let's practice these steps. Like, let's really hone in and practice these things. I know we say, like when we enter into a new year, like new year, new me, but it's not a new you until you change and until you adjust, not just outward external habits of what you do, but the inward place, the deep places, the core and the essence of who you are. Really examine that. That's important. So self-evaluate. That's the first step. How am I resonating now? Ask yourself. Sit down with yourself and ask that question. What sort of vibe do I give off? Maybe ask a friend, like, do I come off? Let them be honest with you and don't become defensive. I do that. I kind of try to do a vibe check every few months. Like, am I coming off? And I let my friends tell me the truth because that's important. So what sort of vibe do I give off when I enter a room or when I speak? Do people like turn their heads? Or are they like excited? Or do they like, can they not wait to talk to you? Or do they like, what do people feel when you walk into a room? Because I know there's some people out there, they run when somebody walks into a room. It's like, uh-oh, that's important to think about and know. All right. I recently watched the movie with Eddie Murphy, Thousand Words, and it was so cool because that's in essence what the spiritual leader was getting him to do. Like, the tree was symbolic of the words that he was speaking or the amount he was letting out of him, but not really. It was just about striving. It was about getting what he could get. It was selfish. It wasn't connected. And it wasn't truly meaningful. The words that he spoke weren't truly meaningful. So that was a great movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Do I just talk to talk? Do I mean what I say? What do I truly believe about myself and about life? What is your message? Do you have one? When you speak, do you come from a place of negativity? Do you complain or blame or fuss 99% of the time? Are your messages cynical? If this is true, then it's time for a heart check. It's time to really quiet yourself down and evaluate where these thorns of negativity are stemming from, and practice moving and thinking and feeling grateful and positive. For example, this is an example. If your car isn't functioning up to the capacity, or if it's an older car and it's perfectly fine, but you're like, oh man, I'm tired of this car. Watch that. Watch it, because now you're speaking life or death. All right. So instead of complaining or instead of fussing about it, switch the narrative. Switch up your narrative. That's so important. As we switch up our narratives, not in a lying sense, but truly feeling it, you'll start to notice a shift in your life. Write down what frequency and message you've been on. For me, it was fear primarily at one point in my life. I would withdraw and hide because I didn't fit in, and I'd be afraid. I'd just be like a whole bunch of self-doubt, whole bunch of what they call the imposter syndrome, and I had to like reconnect with who I was when I came here. And this sounds weird, but when I was a baby, I had a black eye, came out with a black eye, literally fighting. I had to be courageous and brave from the onset of my life. And so once I realized that, I was like, yo, I'm moving out of fear. I'm moving out of a place of lack and limits because I don't believe, in myself enough. I don't believe that God equipped me enough to do and be, not just do, but to be who he's purposed me to be. Then I had to give myself a reality check. That's whack. That's prideful. It's fearful. It's selfish. And that needs to change. It needs to change. So it's time to adjust your inner voice. Be honest with yourself now. Be honest with yourself. That in itself takes bravery. So that was step 2. So self-evaluate 1. Step 2 is write down what frequency you're on. So the practical aspect of writing it down after you thought about it. Step 3, now I want you to write down what you think a theme in life has been for you, and what you think your message should be. There's nothing right or wrong. It's really just what you think it should be. For me, it was bravery. I noticed that courage and fighting and facing those fears has been a constant theme literally since day one on this earth. And so even down to my health, like every day I get up, I have to be brave and I have to face it. And I've been dealing with this for years. So bravery was my overarching theme. But then for somebody else, it may not be bravery. All right. If you have issues with health, primarily, keep and the issues keep coming up, healing, wellness, wholeness, themes of rest, rejuvenation, those could be your messages and your themes, okay? If money has been an issue, you can't keep money, it's hard to make money, or you're frustrated for whatever reason with money, then maybe abundance, faith, stewardship, practicality of budgeting, entrepreneurship, that could be a theme in your life. Being enterprising, those could be themes in your life that you really need to think about and to hone in on. It's always going to be the positive spin of the negative. It's in the negative places, those negative things, those pain points in your life serve as your testimony when you come through them, okay? So that's step 3. Now write down what you think your theme is. Step 4, examine all of the things you've been busy doing. The things that are validating you, or the things you hate to do because you feel like you just got to do it. Write those things down, or examine them. You don't have to necessarily write it down, but think about what you've been doing. Is it like, what are you communicating? Are you on social media all of the time? Like when you wake up, is the first thing you do is go scroll? Or do you turn on the TV and watch the news? When you go to bed, can you turn off the TV? Do you have to have noise going on? What's going on? What is that communicating to you? Why can't you be okay with yourself in silence? What are your interactions like with people on a daily basis? In what ways can you simplify your life? And in what ways can you shift your eternal voice? All right. Then lastly, be quiet. It's super hard to be quiet, but be quiet. It really means taking intentional time off the quote unquote grid. Delete the apps off your phone or remove them from your phone. Turn off the news. And sit and be with yourself, meditate, find a good book, get out in nature, connect back to source, connect back to the source. All this other stuff is not your source. They did not create you. So what created you? Who created you? What were you created to be? That's what you have to connect to and reconnect to in order to hone in on your voice. That's when you notice your frequency is really going to start to change. It's going to start to elevate. Those people that used to run out the room when you came in the room, they might not run out as quickly anymore. I'm joking, but no, they might not run out the way they used to, or they might want to sit and talk because now you actually have something meaningful and of purpose to say. And when you do talk, it's going to come from a pool of charged wisdom because you literally sat down and thought about it and pondered what's really going on and not letting anything else or everybody else dictate it. Okay, I don't want to be long-winded. I think I kind of already have, but self-evaluate. Write down what frequency you're on, then write down what you think your theme is and what frequency you want to be on. Okay, write those things down and then start living out of that. Examine how you've been communicating and then be quiet. Sit with it. In my Brave Voice course, that's a little hard to say, my Brave Voice course, I'm going to be talking about those things too, even as it pertains to writing songs. It's so important to know what your honest message is. In one of my classes, I have an assignment or a project that I have the students do where they watch a documentary and then they write down like their thoughts about the documentary. And so I have my students watch the Mary J. Blige My Life documentary. So this record came out when I was like 9 or 10. I remember it was like Christmas of 1995, if I'm not mistaken. And we listened to meaning my family, we listened to that album all the way from Orlando, Florida, driving from Altamont Springs, Florida, back up to Boston. We listened to that album over and over and over again. But it was something, even in her pain, it was something about her honesty and her truth in that pain. And one of my students wrote last month, like, this was so profound because a lot of artists and a lot of entertainment, they're not coming from that place. They're coming from a trend and what's popular versus what's real and what needs to be said and where your heart really, really, really is. When you connect with your heart and when you connect with the truth of who you are and then let that come from your core, Mary J. Blige had that song, all I really want is to be happy. All right, that in itself, like, that song is crazy. It's crazy. And even fusing that record, it was like a dance record, but it was like talking about what she went through and the pain. And she's like, yo, I just want to be happy. And then them taking the Curtis Mayfield record, like, that's just dope, and sampling that for that record. So it's stuff like that. When you are in tune with what you really feel, you can resonate and cross generations. Your voice will resonate and cross generations. All right. I hope that was encouraging. I hope it was inspiring. And I'm going to keep coming out with truth, my truth, and what I'm learning on my journey of brave living and evolving. I love you all, and I wish you nothing but the best in your success of discovering what your truest voice is. Love you. God bless.